Let's talk about something that trips up almost everyone when they're building a team, the true cost. We're going to challenge that big assumption that the number you see on a salary offer or a vendor contract is the final word, because as you're about to see, that's really just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, let's start with a classic dilemma, one you've probably faced. You've got two options on the table: a full-time hire at $120,000 a year, or an outsourced vendor who only charges $55 an hour. I mean, the choice seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it? But is it really that simple?
Well, if you think it's that easy, think again. That sticker price, it's often a mirage. Today, we're going to dig into why just looking at that number is probably the fastest way to blow up your budget, especially when you're building out an engineering team.
First up, let's dissect that in-house salary. What are you really paying to have that person on your team every single year?
So here's the number everyone focuses on, the base salary. It's the big, shiny figure on the offer letter. But, and this is a big but, it's just the very, very tip of a massive and pretty expensive iceberg.
Now just look at that jump. See how the base salary bar gets dwarfed by the fully loaded cost? In the US, for instance, the actual cost to the company is often 35 to even 60% higher than that base number. Yeah, you heard that right. That means your $120,000 employee could actually be costing you closer to $192,000 a year.
So, where does all that extra cash go? It's all the stuff hiding below the surface, as you can see right here. We're talking about payroll taxes, health insurance, 401k matching, paid time off, bonuses, laptops, software licenses, those pesky recruiting fees, and even the cost of managing the person. These are all real, totally unavoidable expenses.
All right, so the vendor must be the clear winner, right? Not so fast. That really attractive hourly rate, it hides its own collection of sneaky costs.
This $55 an hour rate, it looks fantastic on paper, especially when you put it next to that fully loaded cost of a full-time employee we just looked at. But just like that salary, this headline number is definitely not the whole story.
In reality, when you start to factor in all the overhead of just managing the engagement and making sure you get good work, that true cost often jumps by another 20 to 40% on top of that published rate.
This extra cost is what we can call the coordination tax. It's everything else: the time it takes for the vendor to get up to speed, the hours your own team spends managing them, a buffer for mistakes and rework, extra software licenses, security checks. You get the idea. It all adds up, and it adds up fast.
So if both options have these significant hidden costs, how in the world are we supposed to compare them? We need a smarter, more complete way of looking at it.
This is where this awesome concept called total cost of engagement, or TCE, comes into play. It's a single annualized number that forces you to account for everything you pay, both directly and indirectly, to take an idea and turn it into actual shipped software. It's the only way to get a true apples-to-apples comparison.
And this quote from Scio CEO, Luis Alberto, just nails it. He says, "Once I normalize these, the option with the apparent lower cost is often just the least complete." It perfectly captures the problem. The option that looks cheaper on the surface, it's usually just the one that's not showing you the full picture. So let's put this TCE framework to the test. We're going to apply it to a really common business decision, choosing between a nearshore partner and an offshore partner.
Now this is fascinating. When you use the TCE lens here, you see that even though an offshore partner might have a lower hourly rate, the hidden costs can be way higher. Think about it. A big time zone difference creates a ton of communication friction, and travel is way more expensive. Nearshore partners, on the other hand, are in similar time zones, which cuts down that friction dramatically and lowers the total cost of engagement.
So what does this all mean? It means the right choice totally depends on what your project actually needs. If you're running agile and need super fast feedback and real-time collaboration, a nearshore partner is invaluable. But if you have a huge, well-defined project where overnight work cycles are actually a good thing, then an offshore model can be incredibly effective.
Okay, so how do you take all this information and actually use it to make the right call for your team and your project?
Here's a pretty simple guide to help you map it out. If you need speed and you're iterating constantly, a hybrid model with a core in-house team plus a nearshore partner is probably your best bet. If you've got a massive, well-defined project, you could even have a nearshore team manage an offshore team for you. And of course, when that deep, proprietary knowledge is absolutely critical, keeping it all in-house is the safest play. So it all comes down to this one single, powerful question. The next time you're thinking about building a team, don't just ask about the salary or the hourly rate. Ask, what is the real cost of talent on my team? What's the total cost of engagement? Answering that question honestly, well, it's not just a boring financial exercise. It's the absolute foundation of a successful project and a budget that doesn't break.